Good evening, everyone. It is Friday, September the 13th, 2024, so I hope no one's superstitious. Now, I was going to put up another video and then realized I have an update for you tonight. And I'm going to start. I've got several things that have cropped up slowly over the last week, and the last couple of them have cropped up yesterday and today that are very important. So I'm going to start in with this, and the first one is that it was announced earlier in the week that we've always been talking about the renovation and that, and there's maybe up to 300 people in buildings across the city here, maybe out of a place to live through the renovations, and I know Acorn apparently is involved in this, and they're going to be putting out people who are disabled, some parents with children, are on Ontario Works or ODSP. So where do they go? So with the housing crisis right now, so everyone's waiting for some word on what's going to happen there. And then I guess it was yesterday, I believe, that 2 people were stabbed to death in Kingston. And one was seriously hurt and in hospital. And this was just beside one of the injection site in Kingston, as well as beside the homeless encampment that was also nearby. So there's big talk now about closing down that injection site, as well as moving the encampment away. So I don't know exactly what they're going to do with it. I think they took some people out of there yesterday after this occurred. But there's really going to be a big discussion. This is what we've talked about a bit before. I know I've talked about it. What do they do with the encampments and the injection sites? Like it's getting out of control. And as you can see by my title that I put up, we're just in the last week of summer and going into fall. So I'm suspecting it's going to be a very active fall, and going into the fall, it's going to be very active. So, of course, next week, at least the politicians will all be coming back to work. So everybody's slowly trickling back into the offices, and everything else is going on. And the other big one that just came out as well yesterday was apparently in Montreal, there was a homeless shelter that was right beside a daycare. And apparently one of the homeless people was sleeping on the sidewalk just in front of the shelter, and a mother who had her toddler with her, 3-year-old for that matter, who was just riding his little tricycle or bike in front of her, a few feet in front of her. Wasn't like she wasn't supervising or anything, but he got up, apparently this homeless man, and started yelling and screaming at the kid, and then spit on the kid. And of course, the police were called, and he was actually charged for that because is an assault of a sort. And that is chargeable. Now, I know even coming down the street here in Lower Town, I've come across people who have come up to me, and they haven't spit at me directly, but they certainly spit in front of me on the sidewalk as well. And of course, I've walked over that because I don't want to drag that into my apartment either on my shoes. But this is some of the things that they will come up and do as well. I haven't really touched on that because I haven't been really super affected by it, but it's just one of the things that they also do. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen there. And of course, this homeless shelter, apparently according to the city of Montreal, was put up temporarily during the pandemic, and it was only supposed to be temporary, and that they've been looking for another place to put it. And of course, all the support systems, everything in there, and the staff are complaining about not wanting to move, that they need to keep the shelter there. And now we're having the big discussion as well about, I've been talking about the other injection sites, 10 of them here in Ontario as well, closing down, and what to do with the children, and have it, I think it's 200 meters away, in a buffer zone away from the schools and the daycares and that. So this is going to be a big discussion, that's for sure, with these incidents occurring as well, what to do with everybody. And for me, I just figure that, when children are going to daycare, when children are going to school, they need a safe place to be. They don't need to be fearful going to school or daycare. They shouldn't have this been happening. So if we can provide that safe buffer zone around the schools and the daycares, that to me is at least a good thing. And let us adults basically try and handle with what's going on around them in the streets, but give them a place that they don't have to fear going to. And of course that's affecting their mental health, that's for sure. And like I said, our youth are in a mental health crisis as well right now, so we have a lot to deal with. And we really, common sense to me says you protect our children at all costs. You don't they're taking a chance, they're adults, they know what they're doing, they're getting into the drugs and everything else, but the children are so very vulnerable. So when the homeless know what they're doing, then it's time to clamp down. And then the fourth thing today was that the CTV News came on this evening, on the local news, and there was another stabbing here in Lower Town. And apparently he was around the corner from the shelter when he was stabbed, and he made it in front of the shelter, and the staff came out and tried to help him, but he succumbed to his injuries as well. So that's been hitting the news pretty hard, as well as we've talked about Centertown a bit as well. And also 12 hours after the stabbing, which was overnight, in front of near the shelter, someone else in Centertown was also stabbed. I don't know if this person made it or not, but I know the other person was fatally stabbed, the one from front of the shelter. And apparently, I believe it flashed on the news after that someone was arrested for that stabbing as well. So I just wanted to brief people in, and if it's going the way it's going now, we could have a very active fall. So I'm really looking forward when the politicians and everybody gets settled in till by the end of the month, and hopefully we'll start hearing some updates of what's happening around the city. That's what I'm very interested in, as well as the meeting starting up again very shortly that I'll be attending too. So hopefully we've got more positive news coming out as well, with all the negative news that's coming out, because it was relatively quiet over the summer in my books. But we've had things going on down here. We've had one of my neighbors about 3 weeks ago, their car horn went off for about 15 minutes in the parking lot. We had to get them up to go check their vehicle. And then another vehicle in the parking lot here had the back window smashed twice within a couple of weeks as well. So there's been that. We've had some suspicious fires down here. So things are starting to ramp up now that we're going into September. And I kept wondering, well, if because being in the area here and the Byward Mark and that is, and the police presence and that is this what way it's going to be? Quiet with the tourists and that coming in during the summer, but we're going to have some wild winters and falls and spring hitting us before summer hits us. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. So I'm just going to leave it there at the moment, and I'll be talking to you again soon, shortly. And be safe, watch your surroundings, take care, and definitely be safe for sure wherever you're going. And the holidays are over, as I said, and let's all be safe, back to work, doing what we need to do. And as I've been putting up as well, trying to find ways to help people relax, as you've seen in my last couple of videos. So I'll be continuing that as well as I come across things to try and make our society better. And it's not just the homeless. We're all in a hardship right now, and we all need to take care of ourselves. So everyone, take care, be safe, and we'll talk again soon. And bye-bye.